live.
I,
Live. So good
good
morning,
morning, Jennifer.
Good,
Yeah.
good morning, Jean. We can hear Jean. Oh, wait, I can hear Jean. Good
Hey, welcome to Wake Up with Toastmasters out there in TV land.
morning. So funny that I still call it TV as well. I'm like, I'm watching TV, but I'm sitting in front of the laptop watching it or the iPad. So the Jean's description says Jean Williams, but we have the Mr. Amazing Jean Dunford
The
here.
other Gene.
Yes, the other half of the pair of genes that we know. And welcome to Wake Up with Toastmasters. I love this show. I am excited every Wednesday to do this, and I wish that we could get actually a guest to come on our portion, because of the fact I think it's really, really important that we share our Toastmasters journey and not hear from us all the time about our journeys. But you know what? We're here. We're going to give you some information, some valuable information that maybe you can take back. Today, I wanted, or take on with your day, I wanted to go over the resources that Toastmasters International, the website, has. I know we've been through it before. We've been doing this show for 2.5 years or 1.5 years.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I didn't mark it on the calendar.
Yeah, 1.5 years ever since the shutdown of 2020. Oh, wait, that would make it 2.5 years. And I would go back and I see the time hop of us being on the show and our guest and things that we talked about. And you know what? It's been a lot of fun doing this. And I hope that more people will join in. You know, we're still looking for our join in. We're still in the infant stage of our little show. And I think that we're doing a really good job at making sure you guys get the resources, make sure that there's potential Toastmasters who want to hear more about Toastmasters are engaged, and then also our members know about our resources. Now, I will want to give a shout out to UNLV Toasters, I think they're called, or UNLV Toastmasters, which they have taken information that I have given them from the VPPR training session, which we always talk about the training session and how important it is. And maybe some people are like, oh my gosh, I've heard this all before, but UNLV Toastmasters has, and I'll drink to that, have taken on the whole social media platform and taken it to a different level and leveled up their game in regards to social media and using Toastmasters resources to help promote their club and Toastmasters. So good job with that. I don't know who the VPPR of those two clubs are, but you know what? You're doing an amazing job. And I hope you're watching this and want to come in and talk about what you're doing and how you're gaining members by doing what you're doing. So anyway, today I wanted to talk about, and I probably will say it again next Wednesday, but today I wanted to talk about Toastmasters magazine, because any person, party, anybody can go out and go to the website and get to our magazine. So I am going to share my screen. This is one of the evaluations whenever we're like, oh, when you share your screen, you need to be on point and practice. So I am going to share my screen with you. And look at that. I am going straight to where I want to be, with the exception of trying to pull it down, which I can't do. Well, here, let's just Toastmasters International, and let's just get there. So this is Toastmasters International, or toastmasters.org, and this is our website, and you can get to a lot of the things about Toastmasters without being a member, which is kind of cool because of the fact that it is open for people to browse through to say, hey, tell me all about Toastmasters. And You can even see that we have a replay of our convention. And let me tell you just about the convention and this on-demand access. It does have, I don't want to buy, but it does have items, growth items, leadership items, communication items that somebody who's not a member of Toastmasters can, I think, have access to as well. So that's pretty cool. But I wanted to get to the magazine because I thought September's magazine was pretty cool and wanted to show you about how you can actually go to the articles of the magazine and actually share the magazine as well. And here we have our new president. Is that right, Jean? Our new president?
I believe that's correct, yes.
And we get to meet him. So we'll talk to him about that in just a minute. Or not talk to him, but we'll talk about him. And then 10 ways to be a better speech writer. Even if you're not a Toastmaster and you're like, wow, I can be a better speech writer, because Toastmasters is all about communication and public speaking. And of course, if you want to speak in public, what are you going to talk about? And it just talks about the 10 ways to be a better speech writer. And Jean, you know what I have found when we talk about our speeches and we get evaluations and we tell people to memorize, I think in my mind that when you are speaking and you're giving a speech, in my mind, I think of giving a speech, you're reading the speech. I don't know about you, but I think that is a true statement in my mind.
I think we've gotten used to that because our politicians usually get up at the lectern and they have their notes all written out and they're basically reading their speech to us.
Correct. What do you think about that? Do you think they should have it memorized, or do you think it should be speech writing?
Well, for me, when I'm giving a speech, I don't really memorize the speech. I write down some points that I want to hit, like maybe 6 things I want to talk about. Mm-hmm. And I should know what those 6 things are when I'm talking about them. So if I was trying to give you a lecture on how to build a nuclear electric plant, I probably would need a whole lot of notes and manuals. But if I'm telling you what I think and what I feel, I really don't need notes because I know what I think, I know what I feel, and I want to share that with you. So I think that's one of the big differences.
So, okay, and now some of our speeches that we do in our paths, some are research also. So do you think that if we are researching, do we present what we have found, and would that be written out, or are those also notes?
I think if you're writing down your speech and you're delivering your speech by reading it, I think you lose the contact with your audience. I think if you're going to do that and you need notes, have some bullet points that will remind you of everything. If you have an article you want to share, read through that article like 15 times until you really know the article, and then make some bullet points for that. And then when you're talking, don't try to cover everything. Just try to cover all that you know about it, why you think it's important.
That is a very good point, and thank you for that. I don't think anybody has ever told me that in my evaluations, because I'll read it all day long. I will read my presentation. So thank you for that. Actually, I'm giving a presentation on Sunday, Toastmasters in the Kitchen. And so it's cooking, right? I'm cooking and I am telling a story. So I'm excited about that. And sometimes I have to have notes for that, because if you're cooking and you're trying to do the ingredients at the same time and you're giving your presentation, I do have to look down, because that's a whole different mind thing going on.
One of the things I liked about the kitchen meeting, I would take and I would have the finished product already made.
Yeah.
off on the side. And then I would go, well, you add this and you add that, and I'd slide that bowl out of the view and put something else in. And
Yeah.
it was more, I think that's more of a demonstration speech club. Like if
Yes.
you're giving demonstrations on, say you work at a store and you're going to give a demonstration about something at the store, then you
Hmm.
would give a demonstration, and that would be public rather than on Zoom. But it's the same idea. You're giving a demonstration rather than just a speech.
Yes, and that is a true statement. So, and that's one of the things here. Let me stop my share real quick because I just wanted to bring this to up front. Is one of the things about Toastmasters in the kitchen, right? When you were saying that is you're giving a demonstration versus a speech, but for us, and maybe I always love the way we go one direction and then we go to a different direction. But but when Toastmasters in the kitchen, when we do our presentations, we we're following a path. And so in my mind, when we're following a path and we have to talk about our leadership skills and tell a story or something, that you're cooking at the same time. And is it necessarily what you're making that you're doing the presentation, or is it just talking about something and doing the presentation? Just like when you're at home and you're cooking and somebody's in front of you and you're telling a story, oh, by the way, yesterday I went to the grocery store, and when I went to the grocery store, I was picking up the ingredients for what I'm making today, and then I ran into Sally, and Sally told me a story about how it was raining and the floors were slippery and how she slipped and fell, and I thought it was a great story. I'm now putting 2 eggs into the bowl, type thing. So I just didn't know when we started the Toastmasters in the kitchen if that was the way that we were going to go, or were we saying, today I'm going to make a cake and I'm going to show you by scratch, and I am going to show you the ingredients that we are going to put into it. So we were having that a couple of us have been having that conversation of what direction we were going to take that club into presentation or storytelling while we are making whatever the cake.
That's
So I
very
thought,
interesting.
well, it is, because some people just think it's a cooking club, right? And they're like, oh, well, today I'm going to make a cake and I'm going to show you how to make a cake. But we have paths, right? Our educational workbooks that we work out of, and we have paths, and our path says, talk about your leadership skills. So now it's, well, I do manage a group of ladies, and I know that my communication or my leadership style is this way. Oh, your burglar alarm. I know that my leadership skills are this, that I can't even remember the levels. But today I want to make a cake. And how do you incorporate both the cooking demonstration and the path about leadership together? So I know Gene's talking to his dogs, telling them to behave because the cleaning lady's coming today. So, but I think it's very interesting how, and we're not an advanced specialty club where you already have to be a Toastmaster to be in it, because it's an open club now, but it does hone in on certain skills that we are trying to bring out of people to be able to have that way to present a story or present something from the path and bake your cake. So can you have your cake and speak it too?
Sorry about that. Yes, the cleaning lady's at the door and the dog is going crazy. We got this dog from the pound, and she is such a guard dog. She's a lover too. She'll come in and lick my foot when I'm laying in bed. you know, and I'll wake up and she just want to be petted and all this. But somebody
Oh.
comes to the door, man, she sounds like she's going to eat them.
As we digress again, I have a pit mix, and he doesn't even have a vicious bark, but he looks vicious. But all he wants to do is be pet. That's all he wants, and I think it's pretty cool. So anyway, did you hear my last comment where you're on mute? The last comment was, can you have your cake and speak it too?
That's very funny. Yeah, I never thought about the kitchen meeting being about anything but cooking. So
Mhm.
if you guys are branching out and doing educationals and that kind of thing while you're cooking, I think that's great. I think that'll really boost the club.
Well, I think that's what it should be, right? Because it is Toastmasters in the kitchen. And this is my vision. It's Toastmasters in the kitchen, but we have educational, and we want to be President's Distinguished. Is that the correct way? And the only way that we're going to be able to do it is put it in that path. And if we're starting at level 1, and then we're level 2, and working on, and if this is the only club that our Toastmasters are in, our members are in, then we have to incorporate those paths, and we have to incorporate it the right way. So I think that it's definitely going to be a moment of truth for our members to say, now we're working through our paths, and we are going to have to say, yes, we're going to make our cake, and we're going to speak it as well. So we're getting there. It's growing pains, but I think we're getting there. And I don't know if you were at the one that I did. It was about squash, and then I made a spaghetti squash. So my presentation was about research. So I researched different types of squash. I did a slideshow, and then it's still 25 minutes, right? 5 to 7 minutes, you do a presentation, and then the next 20 minutes, because you get 20 minutes to cook, the next 20 minutes, you're making a spaghetti squash. I'm making a spaghetti squash, right? And of course, like you said, everything's already done. And so voila, if you're cutting and you're pouring the sauce or whatever, and then you pull it out and your spaghetti squash is done. So that is, then you've already given your research project. I researched a squash. There's winter, summer squash. What are winter squash? What are summer squash? Why do they call it? That was a whole 5-minute presentation. And then have the squash, talked about how to cut it and soften it up, and then you put it in the oven, pull out your other one while it was cooking, right? And then voila, here's your squash, and it tastes like spaghetti. So that's where we're getting to be able to do our presentations at the same time. So and you're on mute.
It's a great concept. I think that'll make the club even stronger.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing, and it's fun, and we're, by the way, we're going to have different presentations too, to make it kind of fun, where it's not always we're cooking. We are a cooking club. We present our cooking, but we are doing things maybe a little different, like how we did chop the other day, right? I don't know if you saw that, but we did our version of chop, and we had a competition. So that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of guests that day. So it proves that if we're promoting it a different way, and people are coming in to watch, and then also be able to have a presentation at the same time. So we can have our cake, and we can make our cake, and we can speak it as well, because that's where a lot of people are right now, where they're presenting online. And how do you look in the camera? How do you show the other, how do I want to say, what's going on here? Do you have another live camera here? I have an amazing camera, and I don't even know how to use it. So I think on a Sunday I'm cooking, and I don't know if I'm actually cooking salmon or steak, but I'm going to do it on the grill. But I want to demonstrate and come from my outside into my kitchen. So, and still be there and not walk around with my laptop or my iPhone going, oh, and I'm cooking and I'm holding. I want my camera to be able to, and my headphones and my sound to be in the same vicinity as I am without trying to maneuver all devices. So that will hopefully take it to a different level. So that was my 2 cents on Toastmasters in the kitchen and how Toastmasters is helping us with our demonstration. And for realtors out there, maybe you don't cook, but you have your videos for open houses, or you have your videos to show a home and you want to, and sometimes you see a lot of the cameras and feeds and stuff, and you don't want to see that, but we can help you with that as well. So, but you have to cook. You do have to cook. So my next thing, I'm still on the part about, look at my background, the magazine and our sources. And one thing I thought I saw was, didn't I see, well, let's do this. Are you sabotaging your presentation? I thought I saw Darren LaCroix in our magazine and how he was talking about doing videos. And I thought that was in this. So here's our little magazine. Let me, I'm a big video. I don't know if I dreamt it or if I just saw it. Here's another one, communication, drop those crutches. Toastmasters is very, and this is on our September magazine. So Toastmasters, we always hear about the ums and ahs and you knows and so's and likes. I really try to make sure that I listen to that in my speaking now, but here we are about drop those crutches. In our magazine, besides the fact that we practice in our presentations, there's an article, and we'll just go to it, that talks about how to drop those crutches. Oh, this was from February 2019. Look at that. You can always go back in time as well. And it talks to you about 3 ways to make accounting account for more. Oh, it's talking about when you're the counter. But people do those audible crutch words, audible pauses and crutch words a lot. And here's an article about why do we use those crutch words. And Toastmasters can help you acknowledge, realize that you do use those words. And the magazine, like I said, as I said, that you can get this for free if you're not even a Toastmaster, and pop in there and read an article like that. So I think that it's very important that we as Toastmasters as well, when we see something that can help somebody or for a prospect, that we can actually share, right, this article. So what would happen is you can click on this, and even if you're not a Toastmaster and you see this article and you're saying, oh my gosh, what a great article, 10 ways to be a better speech writer, and then you go through and you read it, and you're not even a Toastmaster, and you say, wow, these are great points. Take your readers on a journey. This is a storytelling technique. Good writing tells stories. Listeners or readers want to take them from here to there. For example, this article takes you from wondering how to write well to understanding valuable tools that support your writing success. Take your readers on a journey from inaction to action, from confusion to clarity, from wherever they are to a place where you want to be. This number 3 is probably one of the main reasons why I joined Toastmasters, is to be able to tell a good story and take people from where I am to the vision. If you haven't heard the story, my license plate has vision, because I do believe that I am very visionary. So you can take this, copy the URL, and actually go to your Facebook, go to your LinkedIn. Probably should do it on LinkedIn. That's us, Jean. And it says, what's on your mind? So I'm just going to take this URL real quick. Maybe. Do you think I can post and talk on Facebook at the same time and say speech writing is about telling stories. Read this article and take your presentation to a new level. There you go. And then I am going to post, and it'll be on there. And now everybody in my group will see the URL of our magazine. So there you go. Anyway, I hope you found our show today educational, fun, and it gives you a little bit of insight of maybe, just maybe, I might want to check out a club and see what this Toastmasters is all about, because we're here for you. We're here to help you, and we're here to help you grow your personal growth. And the next quarter, we have only 4 more months, or 3.5 months left. No, we're still early here. So 4 months of this year, 2022, and we would love to help you grow and to add more value in your life. I don't know, growth. So what do you think, Jean?
Well, I think there are many reasons to join a club. Sometimes people want to have improved speaking, and sometimes people want to just get together and meet new people. And you want to find people who are like-minded to you. So if you are doing presentations at work, or you're doing anything that is an educational, it's say a teacher. A teacher stands in front of her class and she does a presentation all day long.
Yes.
If you want to improve how you do presentations, Toastmasters is the way to do it. But Toastmasters is also the place to find new friends and make new friends and get to know people.
Yes, so, absolutely, 100%. So anyway, like Jean said, everybody joins for a different reason.
Right.
And I joined to tell a story. So I hope I told a little bit of story today.
You were awesome this morning.
And then thank you. And then on Sunday, I will be on Toastmasters in the Kitchen presenting something, I think something with a little fire and a little outdoors, and just for technical savviness is also something that we present. So if anybody wants to join that club, not join, but come to visit that club and maybe join, then let me know and I will send you our link. It's a definitely strictly online club, so that will be fun. Anyway, there goes the dogs, and it is Wednesday. It is time to get going and get to work. So any final words, Jean?
Jennifer, it's always wonderful to get on here with you. I really appreciate your taking this spot, and I'm glad I'm here to somewhat stumble through and help you with it a little bit. But yeah, if you are looking to improve your life, Toastmasters is the place to go do it. To improve mine.
Yeah, that's a great point. Improve your life, growing and improving your life. So on that note, it is Wednesday and it is already halfway through the week. Have a good week. Phyllis and Scott will be here tomorrow. Jean will be here on Friday. And we'll see you in 7 days. Have a great Wednesday. See if I can stop.